G'day again, folks. Just a short video to show you a little bit of my test gear, inspired by VK6CS, who has unlimited test gear in his workshop and half of it's at his house or in his car. I don't have unlimited test gear, but this is some of the test gear I have, and probably two of the best pieces that I have. So I just wanted to share them with you. At some point in your life, as a radio engineer, as a radio linesman, or as a radio technician, or an amateur, or a CBer, you're going to want to know what power you're putting out and what your reflected or return power is, work out SWA, standing wave ratio, all that sort of thing. And so you need a meter. A lot of people rave on about the Bird Model 43 meters. They are in fact excellent quality, but 99% of the time people don't need to buy a Bird Model 43. The Telewave meter, which doesn't use a plug and is broadband but is balanced at all frequencies, is all you need, up to 500 watts. These meters I'm about to show you are up to 500 meters. 500 watts. 500 watts, ladies and gentlemen. As you're probably aware, the Bird Model 43, you can get the plugs, or the slugs, as some people call them, up to 25 kilowatts, in fact, for certain bands. But I'll show you these. This is what I've got, and these are actually better than Bird Model 43 meters. Some people will argue that they're not, but actually in the radio engineering world, for less than 500 watts, these are actually superior. So the first one I'm going to show you is the the Telewave Model 44 AP watt meter. It's Model 44 and the 44A, and the P stands for auxiliary port, so you can run a test signal off it into an analyzer. The 44 AP watt meter, this one is 20 megahertz to 1000 megahertz. Okay, and there's the serial number there, so when the police finally catch up with me, they can cross-reference that with the government department that I stole them from, and I'll go jail. But anyway, that's the Bird. Oh God, this is the Telewave 44 AP watt meter, 20 to 1000 megahertz. Okay, and the one next door is the 44 L1 watt meter by Telewave, and it does 2 megahertz to 200 megahertz. And there's the serial number again, just for the police reference. Yep, righto. So let's have a look at the front of them and see if we can make sense of what exactly it is that we're looking at, because right now you're probably bored out of your skull because you don't understand. And by the way, they have a lovely full grain leather strap, and anyone who knows me knows that I like my leather. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. So I'll lay them down. Here we are. And there's the boxes, the brand new boxes that they came in, by the way. So they've got the matching serial numbers, and they come from Telewave direct. Isn't that good? Telewave in America. So getting back to it, what are we looking at? We're looking at a RF current meter, or an RF watt meter, sorry. Input goes in here, output to the load or antenna goes there. This is for to your analyzer, if you so desire, and the range is from 5 around here to 500 watts. So if you're using equipment and you know that it's 300 watts, you're going to turn this down to 500, so it's within range. But believe it or not, if you actually take time to talk to the experts and you actually realise the difference between this and a Bird Model 43, you realise that the adjustment of this is much finer. So you adjust the range of watts that you're expecting. Okay, for a UHF CB, be less than 5 watts. Up there, 15. Up there, 50 watts, 200 and 500. And of course, each one of these 6 here, or 5, matches on the meter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, can you see that? It might not focus, and I'm sorry about that. But that's what happens. The little meter goes up, and of course, at the moment, the storage position for these meters is obviously the off position. And what you want to do is, when you go to use it, if you're going from the source through the meter to the load or antenna or dummy load, whatever it is, okay, you're going to use forward. Okay, that's what FWD stands for. Okay, it doesn't stand for four-wheel drive, although these are pretty tough, like a Land Cruiser. But this is forward, and that will tell you how many watts is going from the source through to the load. Pretty basic stuff. And if you want to see what your reflected power is, or the power that's coming back, in other words, the power that's being wasted because it's not being radiated by the resonant antenna or load, you put it onto reflected, and you press the button or do whatever it is you're going to do to activate the meter, and it'll go up, hopefully very, very little. And from that you can use your nomograph, of course, or just use some basic RF mathematics, and you can work out your SWR and all sorts of things like that, and the ratio. Remembering, of course, that SWR and RF is not linear. A lot of people forget that. So, moving on over here, this is the same thing. Operates the same way, just in a different band. This one doesn't have a port, so you can't use it. But the thing is that with these, this one here with the port, you know, you're talking about 20 to 1,000. So you're most likely going to want to use a port and an analyzer somewhere above HF. You're probably not going to be doing a lot of analysing under 30 megs. So this is going right through to 1,000 megs, and that's where you want to have your port. So it just costs more to have this, so it's not necessary. And of course, you can always analyse 20 to 30 megs, of course, on that anyway. So that's pretty good. So that's pretty much covered. Whereas this one doesn't have the port. It's not required, being only 2 to 200 megahertz. They don't have any batteries in them. They come with a voltage standing wave ratio chart on the back, because we're not allowed to say SWR. We get into trouble for saying SWR. Okay, it's like calling a corporal sergeant. You just don't do it. Down the bottom is your calibration factors. These things do need calibrating from time to time, but very rarely, because they're fine, precise instruments. And of course they're ruggedized, very heavy duty rubber, and of course they come in a nice padded case like this, and they're solid metal chassis all over, big rubber feet, of course. And you can order them from Telewave with different sockets. These are naturally the standard socket, which is N female, N female out, N female in, N female out, and that's BNC male there for your patch lead to your Rohde & Schwarz or Anritsu analyzer.